met my in-laws for the first time. And guess what? I could not communicate with them. Hi guys, you welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just stopping by, you welcome. I love you guys. Kindly click on the like button. Kindly subscribe onto this channel. On this channel, I will film everything about faith, lifestyle, gist, information as it comes, tips and tricks, air review, and so much more. So kindly subscribe and click on the like button. If you've not seen my travel vlog yet, please do check it out on the link above. On today's video, I'm going to be discussing with you meeting my parents in law for the first time, how it was difficult for me to communicate with them, and some cultural differences that I would say I experienced going down to Macedonia. One of the cultural differences I would say is everybody speaks Macedonia. If you don't know, by the way, I'm a Nigerian. Our lingua franca in Nigeria is English. And me going to this country where the only thing they speak is their own language. It's amazing, it's lovely, but I would say I wasn't finding it funny at all because I found it difficult to communicate with my parents-in-law. They were very, very learned people, but they could not speak English. His uncles, his aunties, none of them could speak English. It was really, really difficult communicating. The only time I would say it was easy a bit was when I met his cousins, and oh my god, such lovely, lovely people. You can see the picture, you can see how amazing they had. They're so cute in their family. Yeah, I chose right. I know. It was a bit easy for me, and I really wanted to hang out with them all the time. We had an amazing time anyway. I really wanted to hang out with them because they made my life easy. I communicate with them. They spoke English, and most of them, the reason why they spoke English was because the way they had to work with international companies. But I spent 3 weeks and here I am happy. So the next thing is farming and community lifestyle. So they make cheese, they make rakia, so they make it from grapefruits or plum, which they leave to ferment for like months, for like 3 months, and it becomes like strong gin. That farming and community lifestyle is one cultural shock of which I loved, and it was really amazing experiencing that people still do farming in this age and time. It's really good. So the next point I would say is the women doing everything for the men. His father does help in the kitchen, don't get me wrong, but you would see that the larger strain is on the women. The women doing everything for their husband, turning after them. And I'm like, oh, I thought this is abroad, but no, in Macedonia it's different. And it brings me to the point where I would say self-entitlement. The kids are self-entitled to their parents. Case in hand is my husband once told me about the fact that when we're talking about me having to send money to my parents, that we need to like set up how much we're going to be sending to our parents, and my husband was like, his parent doesn't need money. And I can attest to that because when we were living, we had lots of money back. His parents giving us money, trying to get us gifts and everything. And I'm like, these people are old. An African parents would not do that, except you're struggling. But if you're not struggling, they would not just, you go visiting them and they are giving you money back. No, it doesn't happen. It's always the other way around, of which you are the one that would be like, when we take this small change, we were brought up to like take care of the older ones, of which I really love. I like to do it. I respect my parents. They've suffered so much for me, and I would want to like, take care of them. But it's the other way around in Macedonia. And I found my husband telling me that, oh, we don't need to send money to my parents because they don't need it, because they are retired, they live on their pensions and all that. And I said, wow, good for you, and it was giving me an example of the fact that parents normally, they take care of the kids till they are married. So until you start having your own family, you are still your parents' responsibility. Whether you're 30, you're 35, you're 36, you're 37, that they even go as far as even building a house for them. Then I'm like, what? My dear, once you've gone to school, you're no longer your parents' responsibility, and even shame will even be catching you to still be your parents' responsibility. So even if you started working, you see your parents' responsibility in Macedonia. So moving on, the next one will be, these people, they hate in beats. So we so we had so many people have to host us, his uncles, his aunties, they wanted to host us. We had family dinners out. there was always one event or the other. They came over to see us, and on these parties I realized that they eat in beds. For instance, we went to one of his uncle's place, and the dinner time was like 7 p.m. and we got there. Guess what, guys? We didn't leave until 2 a.m. They were just eating in bits, smaller portions. Everybody was just eating small, small. Yeah, and I'm like, what's going on here? My husband said, oh, that's how they do here, They eat in bits so they can stay for long. Then they chit chat, then they drink lots of wine, and they argue about politics, and they start raising their voices. You think they're fighting. For that, I was shocked. For me, that was strange. It is what it is. The next one is smoking indoors is allowed. Throughout my stay, I stayed for like 3 weeks. I had people smoke indoors. They smoke in public, but it's not like in the UK where you find people excuse themselves when they need to smoke. So after food, they smoked on the table. Like there's nothing like they're excusing themselves. So smoking indoors is allowed, which is like a shock for me because where I'm coming from in the UK, it's not allowed. So I just felt like Europe generally, the Western countries, they don't allow smoking in public places. But so it's a cultural shock for me seeing Macedonians, they smoke in public places, they smoke in their homes, and everybody's happy with it. So smoking indoors is allowed. So salad is an appetizer. We had dinner one day, and the first thing they brought was salad. And I'm like, oh yeah, probably it's like a side dish, the main food is coming. And like 2-3 hours later, the food didn't come. And I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, they say I have to eat salad first. Salad is you eat it like before the main dish. And I'm like, salad is like side dish now. This is family. What's salad? If I eat salad now, I'm full. So salad is like an appetizer in Macedonia. So it's something you eat before the main dish. Even if they are eating, and the first time I saw, they were eating beans and fish, and there was salad there. And I'm like, well, why are we having salad? They say, oh, you're going to eat that first. You eat salad first, then before the beans. Feel free to drop in the comment section the places you visited and the things that you feel like was like a cultural shock for you, or you feel like you've never seen before. Feel free to drop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. The next thing is still on food. They eat loads of tomatoes with cheese, lots of wine and drinking. Oh my god. Each typical day we had food, there was always their local drink or beer or wine. We never had food with water, even during breakfast. Then dinner and lunch is always like, do you want beer? Do you want wine? And usually we always have rakia every day. So rakia is like a very strong local drink. And it got to a week I told them, nah, I'm not having this drink, is just too strong for me. I'm not having it. And it's just like second nature to them. Like it doesn't affect them in any way. It's not like you're drinking to get drunk, or it has any effect on your body. It's just like water to them. So lots of wine and drinking, and their local drink, as I said, is really, really strong. I think most of the cultural shock will be related to food, because for me, I'm very fussy, and things I don't really like, I find it strange maybe. So they eat lots of cold food. For me, I don't. Sometimes, like the first few days, like okay, the first day I ate my mother-in-law's food, I almost cried, and that was because the food was cold. And they don't see it like any big deal. Probably it was our own fault for eating cold food, because we didn't come out from the room when they called us for breakfast. Maybe that was our fault, but I felt they had lots of cold food. My husband gets to the kitchen, eating sauce straight from the fridge. He's eating meat cold. He gave me cold meat one time, and I'm like, what? This is cold. And it's like, nah, then it's okay. I'm like, nah, help us. Now I feel they eat lots of cold food. I don't know if it's peculiar to all Europe, but in Macedonia they eat lots of cold food. So for me, that's a no-no, but for them it was like normal. Like whether it's cold, it's hot, the food is okay, they eat. Another one was they don't have kettles. I was one that we went to get them kettle, we went to buy microwave. My mother-in-law warms all the food on the stove, or she puts it in the oven. And we went to buy the microwave. I was thinking, oh, probably they didn't know there was something like microwave. They went to buy the microwave. Guess what, guys? Till we left, they never used the microwave. They never used the kettle to boil water for tea or drink or anything. They were still using their traditional, boiling hot stuff on fire, warming the food on fire. They did everything traditionally, compared to we that we like to have fast life. Me, I like my life fast, easy. Another one is they made everything homemade. So we had homemade cheese, homemade local wine, which they call rakia, I've said already. So they plant everything. So my father-in-law has a farm where he grows peppers in front of his house. He grows tomatoes, cucumber, vegetables, whatever food you can think of. He had like strawberries in the house. There was apples. They eat haricot beans. They don't eat the normal black eyed beans that we have. They don't use palm oil or granola oil like we do. They put their beans in tomatoes. They eat beans with fish and salad. So I've never seen that before. First time I was seeing something like that. So that is what they eat. Guys, they eat bread every day. I've seen them eat rice. Guys, they hardly eat potatoes. They do eat potatoes, but mostly they eat bread with everything, morning, afternoon, and night. You know, they are eating fish, there is bread on the table. They are eating beans, there is bread on the table. The dinner is missing if there's no bread on the table. The next one will be paying for tolls from one city to the other. Whenever we were leaving Petrovo, basically, so while you're crossing Petrovo, you're going to another city, you're paying for tolls. And this is like not one tolls, not two tolls. This is like 3 tolls, and it's like 40 dinars, which is Macedonian money. Sometimes 60 dinars, sometimes 70 dinars, but you have to pay for tolls, especially when you're going to the city. Before you were leaving Petrovo and you're going to another city like Steve, Stromisa, or Skopje, you had to pay for tolls. And that was something that, you know, in the UK you could just say avoid tolls and you go your way. But in Macedonia, you had to pay for tolls. Anywhere you were going to, you had to pay for tolls. So far you were leaving where you stay to another city. It's like you're crossing border, I don't know. But it's not like 1 tolls or 2 tolls. It's like about 3 tolls that you have to pay for, you know, back to back. You get like 1 toll, 40 minutes later, there's another toll. Within a 2 hours journey, you had to like meet 3 tolls on your way. And that was something I found different. I love the country. It was really, really beautiful. And the money might be little, but like, it was just this piece that came with it. And the communal lifestyle, it was really good. The roads are massive and big, especially in the big cities. But it's good. I really enjoyed my time. The only disadvantage was the fact that I couldn't speak Macedonia. I'm trying to learn, you know, and I hope that in the nearest future I would be able to like communicate better. And when I go to Macedonia, I'll be free enough to like speak with everybody. I had an amazing time in Macedonia. I would love to go again if I have the opportunity. Definitely, I'm going to get the opportunity anyway. I'm going to see how we can fit it into our schedule to go to Nigeria at least as often as we can, and go to Macedonia as often as we can, especially when we start having kids. You know, we want them to know their roots, know their backgrounds. And if there are other topics you want me to discuss or talk about, let me know in the comment section. Kindly subscribe onto this channel. Do make an attempt to check some of my other videos. I will try and put them in some links where you can find them. Until I see you in my next video, it's bye for now, guys.